Hello everyone, this is Anna from Lucy Paper Crafts. Welcome to my new Thursday treat video tutorial. I have this cute little box to share with you. A few weeks ago, everyone at my summer retreat received a small bottle of hand sanitizer, like this, wrapped up in this mini slim treat box, and I was asked to share how I made them. It's a great size and fits chocolate, candy, cosmetics, or whatever small item you want to put inside. The measurements, the final measurements of the box are 2" by 1" by 5". You just have to keep in mind whatever you put in here, it's kind of narrowing down here at the top. But yeah, you can fit plenty of items in here. The actual measurements are optimized to use a full 6 by 6" piece of cardstock or pattern paper. So if you use a 12 by 12 sheet, you can make 4 boxes without any waste. Okay, so my retreat box that I initially made was using the Whisper White thick cardstock, and I decorated just the front. I kind of had a panel here of with a piece of the In Good Taste pattern paper in Night of Navy and Whisper White, and this label here was also Night of Navy, and then the sentiment label was in Whisper White, Stand with Night of Navy. So that was kind of my goodie bag theme, where the colors of Whisper White combined with Night of Navy and Coastal Cabana. If I can, I'll share a picture with you of that treat box as well. Today's version, though, is made out of the beautiful Gilded Autumn paper from the August-December 2020 mini catalog. So this is what we have here. I think it's just beautiful, you know, showing off all that foil. We have copper and gold mixed on this paper on a very vanilla base. And I just used these little golden clips. You can get them in any office supply store. Because the cool thing is that you can tie your bow just around that little edge here from the clip, and that way you don't have to worry about getting the bow on there, or whoever you give it to, they don't have to mess around with the bow. They can just kind of open it like that. And yeah, I also used the new brushed metallic cardstock that we have. It comes in a pack of 12 by 12 size. 3 different colors. It's gold, it's copper, and I want to say brass. And has this really nice texture. And then I just kind of punched out one of the little, one of these little nuts here. Acorn, that was the word. One of those little acorns here. And just kind of put it on there. And I stamped my sentiment in cinnamon cider. I think it's just a beautiful color that goes with copper. You know, it's almost the same tone. Of course, you could heat emboss this with the copper embossing powder as well. So today, I'm actually going to use this paper. It's another patterned piece from the Gilded Autumn. And I thought we'll just make one with the pumpkins. And I will use the very vanilla cardstock, and then again the gold foil brushed metallic. So let me just, let's see here, I can place it right here. So this is pretty much what we're going to need. Like I said, you can use any 6 by 6" paper, or if you cut down a 12 by 12 piece of paper, you can just get 4 out of these without any waste. So I think that's pretty cool. I always try to really maximize the measurements and the size of my treat boxes, so I don't have too much waste on them. So the stamp set I'm going to use, like I did on this box, is a Gather Together stamp set. It came out last year in the holiday catalog, and it was so popular that Stampin' Up! Decided to bring it back. So I guess I'll just go with the Season of Thanks again. I think it's a sweet sentiment. So we're going to need that, just a sentiment. As you can see, mine has been used quite a bit. Yeah, so let's just mount our little stamp here. And let me just grab a block here. So I'll just put it on there. And just any kind of piece of very vanilla. And like I said, a piece of the gold foil. And then the dies I used are the Field Tiles dies. It is a bundle with the stamp set Today's Tiles. And I just love these. These make like really quick, beautiful labels that you can use. And you can mix and match them. You know, you can layer them like this. In this case, I really like layering it like this. And it just fits perfectly on my treat box here. So those are the dies I'm going to use. And let me just make some room here. I'm going to use the Cajun Craze, the coordinating color here from the paper. Again, of course, I could heat emboss in gold, but for just demonstration purposes, I'll keep it simple. So this is what we're going to need. And I used the Gilded Autumn Product Suite ribbon. It's a combo pack of this beautiful metallic copper thin ribbon. And then the other ribbon is mint macaroon basket weave. But since I kind of wanted to, you know, pick up the gold here in the paper and not bring in another metallic color, here the paper has both, so it doesn't matter. But I figured I'll just use one of our classics from the annual catalog. It's this metallic edge ribbon, and the gold one is very vanilla in the middle, and we also have a silver one, so the edges are silver and the middle is whisper white. And the cool thing is you can color these in. So if I wanted to, I could actually color this with one of my blends or the re-inkers in, you know, Cajun Craze, or, you know, even I don't know, whatever color you want to use to match your paper. So that's what I'm going to use. And then we're also going to need, well, some dimensionals and some tear and tape. I really like using this because it's a strong adhesive for any kind of box. Okay, so we'll just use our 6x6 inch piece of paper. Let me make a little bit of room here. Our stamps aside. And like I said, I kind of optimized this to go with just a 6x6 inch piece of paper. And I will share the measurements with you below the video. So, okay, so if your paper actually has, you know, your pattern has a direction, put it in the way, you know, it would actually is in the correct direction. Okay, so my pumpkins are all in the right direction here. And I scored first at a, let's see here. Give me a second. Yeah, okay, so at first I'm creating my little adhesive strip here. Okay, so I'll put it in here at just 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so let's just see here. Okay, and I scored. And you want to go lightly on the designer paper, on the pattern paper. It's usually not as strong and thick as our cardstock. So just, you know, make your score lines, but just be a little bit gentle. Then we're moving it on to 1¼ of an inch to have our side at 1 inch. Okay, I'm just scoring it again. Then we move it to 3 1/8. So you may think that these are a little bit odd measurements, but it's just to really make use of the whole piece of paper. So 3 1/8 and then 4 1/8. Okay. And then you want to turn it clockwise by 90 degrees and score again at 1 inch. So, because that is going to create our bottom. Okay, let me just... It's a little bit tricky if you can like look right at it because of the camera. No need to show my gray hair. Okay, so, and that's pretty much it. That's all the scoring we need to do. So you have a very thin strip here. This is where our adhesive is going to go. And we have our 1 inch sides and the 2 inch front and back. Okay, so now if you have trouble seeing your score lines sometimes, just carefully reinforce them. Okay, I'm not going to bother too much with the bone folder because, you know, I'm still, it's not going to be a flat card, so I'll just use my fingers here, kind of lining up the edge. That should be enough. Oh, this is going to look beautiful. And then the last one. Okay, let's see here. Okay, again, just using my fingers. And then we have the bottom. Again, just lining it up. Okay. Now, we need to do some cutting. First of all, you can cut off, like you have a tiny little square here. So that can be cut away. And I'm cutting the small, like, put a little angle here. Like this. And then we'll trim this one. And here, the middle part, so the front and the back, the wider ends, the 2-inch pieces, I'll just cut the score lines away. So as you can see, it is, again, a triangle shape, a little bit like this, and then just straight. It'll make sense when we put it together here in a second. So first, cutting left of the score line, and then I can cut at an angle. And here's the reason I love our paper snips. They just cut all the way to the end. And trust me, they're sharp all the way to the end. I think my little cut here is gone by now, but I wasn't careful and kind of poked myself with the paper snip end. So, okay. And I can leave that one straight. So it's gonna look like this. So this one goes away, we've completely cut it away. Cut a little bit of an angle here, and then the two smaller flaps, we're going to cut them at an angle. It's just going to make it easier to put the bottom together. And then the two big pieces are just cut straight. Just cut away the score line. Okay, so that's pretty much all the paper trimming we're going to need to do. Okay, now let's see. What I like to use is our silicone mat. You can use this for like lots of things when crafting. I like to use it when I put together boxes. I'll just put some down here so it weighs down. Because now I can put on my tear and tape adhesive. And I like to kind of put my hand in there, but it depends if you're left-handed or right-handed. So, and I'm putting the silicone mat below my paper so I can line up my tear and tape. It's going to be a little bit wider than my paper, but because I'm putting it on the silicone mat, it's not going to matter because I'm not running any paper, you know, below. So, okay, so if I want to, I could make sure that it's, you know, all even. And like I said, the silicone mat, like all kinds of adhesive and glue, is coming off. So then we'll just peel off our end here. Okay. And now you can see that it's kind of hanging over a little bit. But what I like to do is kind of just bend it over a little bit. And again, the mat is super helpful here. So now it's just flipped over. Okay. And now when you have even measurements for your box, the cool thing actually is that it's super easy to line up the two ends now. So you still want to make sure that it's somewhat, you know, straight. Okay, kind of lining that up. Okay. Ooh, this feels like, you know, with that foil, like from all the pumpkins, it feels like very luxurious. So, okay. And if you want to, you can use your bone folder and kind of reinforce, you know, the adhesive strip again. I haven't tried our Stamp & Seal Plus yet for boxes. I still need to do that. But I have a couple of really cute Halloween treats planned for you guys. So that's what that's going to be the big test drive. Okay, so now this is your box. And here is your adhesive strip okay? So you want to make that the back of your treat bag, okay? So I put in the sides first, and oh wait, maybe I'll, it's kind of personal preference. If you like to put in one first and then the other two and then close it up. But you want to make sure, just to kind of reinforce the, you know, the adhesive side, kind of reinforce it again. You always want to make sure that the front of your card, the bottom flap, is the last one to be closed, okay? So what I'm going to do is, yeah, so we put the back down first, and here's why you want to cut these at a little bit of an angle so they just glue down better. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy because we're going to cover that up. But keeping the big two pieces somewhat even, it just makes your box a little bit like sturdier and not go, you know, like wonky like this. So, okay. But it's just, you know, a question of practice. Okay, so I'll put down some more tear and tape, and now let's do the actual tear here. Okay, so I'll just put one strip down, and depending on what you put into your treat bag, into your box, you might want to use one or two strips. Okay, I'll just use my old piercing tool here, kind of get that off. Okay, so we just have our two strips here. I'm trying to stay on camera. Okay, and then just kind of checking that my box is somewhat at a good angle. Okay, because the tear and tape, if it's glued down, it's glued down. There's no way of fixing it. You could use our Tombow, our multi-purpose liquid glue, but I feel like the tear and tape is really the best option. And as you can see, my little hand sanitizer just was perfect size in there. So, I mean, that's how I started out with my measurements, is I measured the bottle and kind of, you know, kind of tested or looked. What I usually do is I use my little Stamparatus mat here. I love this thing. So, because it's just a small work surface, it has the foam on the back, so I can perfectly stamp photopolymer stamps. And so what I do is usually I just kind of, you know, put it here and like, okay, I need a box about 2 inches, and it's like roughly 3 inches. And then if I want to kind of pinch it in at the top, I'm going to need a little bit of extra. So that's kind of how I measure it. And then I actually see if I can adjust those measurements, just make it a little bit tighter or wider depending on my piece of paper that I want to start out with. So, okay, so we have our little box here, and just to kind of make it a little bit easier, I'll just put this inside. And now all we need to do is kind of pinch this together. Okay, like this. And then your side is gonna move in there anyway, depending on what you have in there. So you could do score lines, but I feel like, you know, for just a quick little treat, it's a little bit like not really worth the effort, I think. Of course, if you're a perfectionist and you want to do that. So I'll just close my box here. And again, I'm just using this so it's quick and easy. Okay. All right, I mean, just look at that. It just already, like I said, it feels like awesome. So there's a little treat here. So now we're gonna stamp. Again, I'm gonna bring in my mat here because it's a photopolymer stamp. So I just wanna make sure that I get a good image here. And I'm gonna use my Cajun Craze. Oh, I got a lot of paper pieces on there. Okay, so let's see here, right in the middle, Season of Thanks. Okay, looks good. And just getting that out of the way. Because I know I'm going to mess it up. The pretty box, I'll mess it up just by kind of getting my ink everywhere. So now I'm going to use this piece here. And as you can see, it's a very, very tight fit. So let's see if I have some, just some Post-its here. And I have my new die cutting machine. I'm not going to pull it into like on camera, so because then it's going to shake my whole camera and everything. So I'll just line this up here. The magnetic platform, oh, I'm looking so forward to that. Can't wait, because then you can really forget about all this Post-it messiness. Is that even a word? So I already got mine ordered because it's available now, and so is the new die cutting machine. I really love it. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit already. So I'll just put that on here. Yeah, you can see, I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting the magnetic platform. Okay, that's it. That was the last call for these Post-its. They're just not working out. So I'll just take some good old Post-its. I still want to make sure I get some space in there too. The other one, thank goodness it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that I kind of get this on straight. Okay. Usually I die cut first, because then you don't have to do this. And then I go ahead and stamp. But, okay, so this is going to move a little bit over to the side. And then I have my piece here. Okay, and I kind of want to, as you can see, it has this texture. So I want my piece to kind of go there too. Let's see here, just to kind of keep it in place. Okay, don't want to make this video last forever. So okay, just building up my sandwich and running it through the die cutting machine. Okay, we have some cracking, but I still feel like it's quieter than the die cutting machine before, so I'm really happy with our new die cutting machine. And it folds up, you know, so it's not taking up a lot of space. Okay. So now let's get all these pieces away. Oh, I was afraid that was going to happen. There's a good amount of pressure on, you know, with the new dies, or with the new platform, I should say. So I'll have plenty of stuff here. So if you have something, you know, I have a little bit of I don't want to say score line, but something like that, you know, here on my piece. So what I'm going to do is just use my bone folder. Oops, now I smeared it. But it's okay, it's going to be like on the back. So especially with these dies, you know, if you have like the sentiments, sometimes you have a like tiny little bit of an edge from the die cutting. What I just like to do is kind of just run my bone folder over it. Okay, so this. Now, we'll just have to kind of line this up, and we're almost done. So I'll use some dimensionals here on the back. And I kind of want to make sure that I'm not putting them in the wrong spot. So I'll just put them here onto my little label. Okay. That way I can be sure that they're in the right spot. Okay. So see here. And I can use these dents here to line up with one another. And this is a really tight, you know, fit. So let's see here if I can kind of... Took me a couple of seconds when I was making all those boxes. But I think it was totally worth it. So, okay, just putting it down. And now here's our little label. And now we can put it on like this, also using dimensionals. 1, 2, I think I could have used the small ones, but it's all right. So just taking those off. Okay. Let's see here. And now you kind of, let's see, I'm going to use my example here. Okay, I put kind of mold there. Ugh. I'm always about, you know, trying to place it perfectly in the middle. But I think I have to let go of my perfectionism a little bit sometimes for the purpose of teaching. Okay, so there we go. I think that already looks beautiful. Now we can put on our little ribbon here. And I'll just put it through here. And that's why it's a little bit easier if you already have, you know, your treat inside. Okay. Tying a pretty bow on camera. Let's see here. Maybe that works better. It's a science, I'm telling you. Tying bows, there we go. It's a science. So I don't want it too big. So, but like I said, that's the pretty part about the clips. I wish we would get them back. Stampin' Up! Please bring back the little clips that we had. So they were just awesome. Okay, so kind of get your ribbon in place, and then we'll just, let's see, like that. Okay. Ooh, that looks very, very pretty. It's almost disappointing. I feel like sometimes, you know, you make such a pretty box and then all that's inside is a hand sanitizer. But hey, they're, I mean, this year, hand sanitizers are gold, right? So, okay, let's see. Now, I was thinking, like I edited this one here, I was thinking I will use another piece and just quickly cut out one of these small little pumpkins. I think these are just cute. So let's see if this one's gonna do it. And I hope I can do it quick enough so this video is not gonna be too crazy long. Okay, so because we don't have a punch for these. Of course, you could also heat emboss and stamp one of the pumpkins in the stamp set gathered together. But I feel like they would be a little bit too big. And they are a little bit of a different style than these. So, and I mean, again, it's not too complicated to cut these out. Okay. Especially if you have good scissors. Okay. Let's see here. Am I gonna do it? I'm gonna mess with the inside. You see, those are always the tiny little parts where I get that's my challenge always. It's not like I don't think that this is too much fun, fuzzy cutting. That's why I love getting dies, matching dies. But if I do it, at least I want to get as close as possible to, you know, making it look almost like it was meant to be die cut. Okay, so I just cut the little piece there in the middle. And let's see if our regular dimensional might be a little bit big. Yeah, so I'll just use a small one here. Okay, and let's see, before I put it down, I want to decide where I'm going to put my pumpkin. Okay, do I want it here? No, it's disappearing. I think it's going to look nicer up here. Oh, we're going to do that. Yeah, I think that's cute. Let's just put it up there again. So we want to place our dimensional as close to the bottom as possible. Okay. You see, that's why you want to have both sizes of dimensional, so you can always choose the one that's best for the situation. Okay, putting it a little bit in an angle here. Oh, I just saw that I actually didn't put that on a dimensional. So backwards, because I think that looks nicer if it's actually not popped up. Okay. You see, that's how I tear off dimensionals, if you use a paper piercer or something like that. Okay, so glue dot. And I still have plenty of these tiny little glue dot sheets from our paper pumpkins. Ooh, speaking of paper pumpkins, I'm so excited about now the next one, the September version, because it makes treat bags, 20. I mean, that's amazing. 20 treat bags and one paper pumpkin. And you can actually choose. They have different themes in them, so you can choose if you want to do decorate them Halloween, fall, Thanksgiving. That's totally up to you. If you don't like Halloween, then you can just, you know, make it another theme. Just general fall. Okay, so now I'm really using these up. It's just because I messed up the first glue dot on here. So the glue dots are just a little bit quicker right now than maybe the liquid glue would have been quicker eventually. So kind of putting it on here. All right, and there we go. There's our little treat box, a different version than this one. Well, it's the same treat box. It's just I use different paper. So I would love to hear which one you like more. And let me just look something up here real quick. So yeah, as you can see, it's a really, you know, quick and easy treat box that you can make plenty of for your holiday season. And of course you can switch out the dies, you know, with any kind of label punch you have and make it even faster than, you know, if you want to skip the die cutting. I hope you enjoyed this Thursday treat and find the tutorial useful for your holiday crafting. Leave me a comment below the video. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. Have a wonderful day and happy stamping. Bye!